What's up, Laker Nation, and welcome into episode 13 of the Lake Show Flow. I'm Gio with my co-host Joe.
What's up, y'all?
So if you're new to the channel, we'd appreciate some feedback. We've been getting more comments lately, some more subscribers too, so that makes us happy. But yeah, any more activity we can get on the channel, we appreciate it. So
yeah, definitely. Like any feedback, anything like that, comments, everything matters. Like even the subscribers going up is like really matter to us. It makes us like more motivated, so we just appreciate it. And all the day ones that have been here, we appreciate y'all. But just thank y'all for the support.
Yeah, so tonight's game, the Lakers do fall to the Nets 109-98. Key performers for the Nets there, you had Joe Harris, 21 points, 5 rebounds. James Harden with 23 points, 11 assists, and 5 rebounds. Kyrie Irving with 16 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. And Lawawu Cabarro with 15 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds.
And for the Lakers, you had LeBron James with 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. You had Kuzma with 16 points, 10 rebounds. You had KCP with 9 points, a rebound, and assist. You had Gasol with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then off the bench, you had Harold with 10 points. And then you had THT with 9 points.
Yeah, so coming into this game, we didn't have AD. They didn't have KD. And then also last minute, we ended up finding out that Schroeder had broke protocol, so he wasn't able to play. So it's kind of like a little scrambling with the lineup. So we saw Wesley Matthews get the start instead of Caruso, so we're kind of concerned about that. I mean, it'd be nice to see Caruso come in and get the start. But right away, though, in this game, Kuzma started doing good. He got a rebound, a second chance bucket. We saw Mark hit a 3. We weren't looking too bad yet, but...
Yeah, the first quarter was pretty even. I mean, like you said, Kuzma had 2 threes. LeBron started off pretty decent with 3 baskets and a free throw. And even KCP had 2 baskets, you know? And, I mean, the thing that kind of kept them in this game and, like, eventually pulled away, which we'll talk about more, is just the threes, you know? Which you got to expect that from Harden. Harden's going to hit his threes. Yeah. Kyrie's going to hit his threes. Harris is going to hit his threes. Yeah. But the other guys...
When you got Lawawu Cabarro, just having like 5 threes, I think he ended up with in this game.
But. Yeah, he had 5 threes, and then Johnson had a 3 in that first quarter too, you know, but... The first quarter, what I like to see, though, KCP get involved, right? Because we've talked about KCP basically up and down all year. But this game really showed when you don't get your guys in a rhythm during the season. Because in a game like this, where you don't have a Dennis shooter and you don't have AD, you need someone else to step up, right? Which Kuz, in this situation, is pretty much the second guy. Yeah. But you need a third. You need someone else to come along with you, right? And KCP is the perfect guy to do that. But... KCP has no rhythm at this point. Like, this was a perfect game to actually run things for him and get him in a rhythm and get him more shots. But we ran nothing for him today.
Because when we first started doing this podcast, we pretty much said, like, we love that KCP could do more than just shoot threes. But for the last, like, 7 games, it feels like we just been pretty much boxing him into just a spot-up shooter. Yeah. And so, you can't expect him to, because he can finish. But you can't expect him to be in enough of a rhythm to just do that. Yeah. But we did need him to step up. THT almost had a crazy poster in this one.
And the crazy thing about that, though, in this starting lineup is, for the first time all season, Marc Gasol could have been useful. Like, they started extremely small. Like, they had Green run their center. They had no center. They had DeAndre Jordan out there sometimes in the game, but they didn't start him. So, one of the few times this season that Marc Gasol could have been useful, they did not attack the post at all. He didn't try one post up at all this game, which was like very concerning. I don't know if it's just like coaching, but I feel like there was so much more opportunity there.
Yeah, and then overall, like this team in general with the Nets, they take a lot of threes. They have a lot of shooters, and I feel like we pretty much notice it's almost like we're trying to keep up with their threes, and that's not going to happen with our team. We have to slow the game down, especially with our size. Even LeBron could have had more post-ups instead of settling for threes in the beginning. So we ended up trailing that quarter. It was 31-24. And then going into the second, we finally see Trez in there. He gets a quick 4 points to open the quarter, which he plays with so much aggressiveness. We talked about the last game. And he didn't get enough minutes this game. I don't know what it is. Like, it's almost like the players that we want to see more of, like going into a game, they don't get the consistency. They don't get the consistent minutes. Yeah. And like with Trez, like we said last time, he does not waste his minutes. And it was clear in this game. When he's in there, he's effective.
No, yeah, he definitely scored. The thing that messed him up, though, in the first half is he had 2 fouls, like, back-to-back. So I could see why they kind of pulled him a little bit early. But later on in the game, he didn't come out at all, you know. And just was like a game. I feel like this was a game where Trez could have excelled, too. Because, like I said, they didn't have a true big man. They have DeAndre Jordan, which he is bigger, but I feel like Trez's strength is the fast break. He could outrun DeAndre Jordan. You know, he's faster than him. So we didn't utilize Trez tonight. Same thing with that quarter. I mean, Kuzma had 2 baskets, and he had this crazy save that was like behind the back that led to I think it was a
KC3.
KC3, you know, so Kuz
and Caruso went up there to grab that too after he saved it.
Exactly, you know, so Kuz showing hustle, right? And I feel like when it came to this quarter, I mean, you have Harris come alive, right? And Harris shoots 49% from 3, pretty much marksman in the NBA, but he hits 4 threes in that quarter, so he just goes on fire, right? And basically, the only one that hits a 3 in that quarter for us is KCP. So you can't hit 1 3 and them hit 4 with one guy. That's not even counting Lahau.
Lawawu.
Yeah, that's how you say his name. He hit a 3, and then Green hit a 3. So you can't trade 2s for 3s, right? And then, like we talked about before with this team, we're like in the bottom when it comes to 3-point percentage, right? So tonight we try to pretty much match them with shooting, which was the wrong strategy. What we should have done was had Trez get some fast break points, because obviously he could outrun his center. LeBron could outrun anybody too. And then in the half-court offense, we should have ran more stuff in the post, which we did.
Yeah, we should have took advantage of the size on the inside and the fact that we can slow the game down with that. If we slow the game down, we control the pace. They're not going to get these transition threes, and it won't affect us as much. But in that first half, they made 7 more threes in us. So that's 21 points more than what we're getting from that side. So
that's a lot of points too, you know. And in that quarter, like every game, we pretty much have a run where we had 4 points in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So
the only good thing is it wasn't 0 points in 4 minutes, but
4 points. And then, like you said too, to start that quarter, it was a 16-4 run that carried on from the first quarter. Yeah. So another run, you know. And I feel like once again, when it comes to our offense, because LeBron was doing his thing. LeBron ended up at like 30 points, right? But all these other guys, I feel like there's no rhythm for everyone, you know. Like I feel like Trez will have a great game, but he'll sit like the whole second half. Kuz will have a great game. He'll sit the whole second half, and you know.
And for some reason, we had Quinn Cook out there like really early.
Quinn Cook had a sighting tonight, right? And he hasn't played meaningful minutes all season. So I don't know why you give him minutes.
Because you look at the Nets rotation, they're okay with having a short rotation. Like they got guys playing a lot of minutes at a time. We could have done that. Like it's not. I know we didn't have Schroeder, but to replace that production with someone who comes in garbage time, like
dude, that
didn't make any sense.
And the thing with our team though too, it's not even like we're a veteran team. Other than Marc Gasol, LeBron, I guess he's older, but he's not really old. Other than those two, I mean, we have a bunch of young guys. I mean, you have Kuz that you could use in this game. Just run them. Kuz is young. Alex Caruso, run them. Trez, THT. These 4 guys, run them this game. Let them work, you know, because these are games where young legs are going to help out. And it's not gonna like Kuz and Trez and Alex play tons of minutes every game, and, you know, they need to rest them. They don't play a ton of minutes to start with. So in a game like this, especially when it was getting out of hand, let your young guys play. Let them, they're energy guys. We need that because, like you said, you had Cook in there for a bit who didn't play meaningful minutes all year. And then on the other side, I feel once again, Mark, we could have used him tonight.
Yeah,
like, there was times where Mark had like these small guys switched onto him, and we didn't even try to post up Marc Gasol tonight. Like I said, there's going to be very few games that Mark's actually valuable, and this was a game that I don't know what the heck they were doing.
Yeah, and I know we haven't seen it from Mark all year. Like the post-up game hasn't been there, but for like you said, in certain matchups, you just have to do it. Like you have to at least try it. Give him like 3 possessions in a row when he has a smaller guy on him.
Yeah, a little baby hook because he's capable.
Yeah, it's not like he forgot how to be 7 feet and make a hook.
Yeah, you know, it's pretty much like the guys that are on him, they're point guards. It's like us playing Diego, your little brother. Yeah. I'm gonna be able to make a post hook on this kid. He just doesn't have height, you know. So
and then our offense, it's just I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's like we've talked about before. Where sometimes we just run these ISOs, but then whoever's ISOing, whether it's LeBron or we give it to Kuz or something, it's like they have to make a last second pass that's meaningless because then they'll give it to like Trez, who's either gonna have to take a wild shot or you know sometimes they'll turn it over. So I don't know.
Those ISOs, there's no movements. Like there's when you do an ISO at the top, it's okay, but you need to have like back screens. You need to have all these things happening behind the ISO
Yeah.
in case the ISO doesn't work. And we don't do that. Everyone just stands. And
Yeah,
it's
we
like,
need those meaningful ISOs. Like,
yeah, and it's like in a game like this, as good as LeBron has been at shooting the three, you can't expect him just to ISO back there and just chuck up threes. And
yeah,
it's not going to happen. Like
because in this game especially, he looked his best when he was attacking, but
Yeah.
then he's just trading his twos for their threes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we had a good close of the half because we're down at 19 at one point, but then we closed it to 11 points. And that was led by LeBron and Kuzma, which is Kuzma. We said that one time, but shout out to Joe's girlfriend on that.
Kuzma show.
Kuzma was active at the end of that. So we did end up trailing, but opening the third quarter, once again, man, it pretty much, the threes that they were hitting and the stroke was just real for them today. And I mean, everyone's stroke against the Lakers is I mean, we're defending champs. It seems like everyone's ready to go. But their identity to begin with, especially with a little bit of influence from D'Antoni, I feel like they take a lot of threes and they're gonna make a lot because they got shooters. They got shooters that didn't even play today.
Yeah, they're definitely made for scoring, but people have talked about them defensively all year, right? Which today, because we didn't even shoot bad, like percentage wise, we ended with like 48 and they were like 49, so we ended good as far as our field goals overall, but it was just the threes.
Yeah, and
us defensively, it's like we talk about all the time. They say we're the number one defense in defense efficiency.
Yeah.
But things like this happen. It's like, I don't get how we could be number one and let a team do this to us.
I think potentially as we start to play some of these harder teams, like Brooklyn, the Jazz have been hot. Like, we're going to start to really see where our defense is, especially without AD. Like, and I mean, there could be, a light at the end of the tunnel a little bit to say, like, all right, well, maybe it'll give people like Kuz, some time to come in. THT, even Wesley and Markieff. I mean, if they're going to get their minutes no matter what, I guess, with Vogel. I mean, dang, I wouldn't mind if they get some confidence with it, but...
Well, yeah, it's about when you use those minutes too, right? Yeah. Because in this quarter, the third quarter, it was kind of close and we could have made a run, but Morris pretty much played that whole quarter. Morris played like 9 minutes tonight, and it was pretty much the third quarter. It was in the important minutes.
For no reason, because we didn't see Harrow in there.
Yeah, and at that point, they were starting small on their side, right? Which I guess Morris is a small ball center. But it's like, we have a small ball center. Yeah. Trez.
And
why not play Trez?
And one that maximizes like his minutes that he gets. Like, he only got 5 more minutes than Morris today. But he had 10 points. Morris had 0. Like
5 more minutes. Now, like I said... And those 5 minutes were like already when the game was over, and they kind of throw him in there late. But like I said, Morris played all the valuable minutes, Because even with Kuz, if you look at the minutes at the end of the game, yes, he had a lot of minutes, but he pretty much played the whole first quarter, so that's pretty much 12 minutes right there. But Kuz didn't play much of the third quarter. He had his 2 baskets when he came in late, But and then LeBron had his baskets too. But like I said, the rotations and the lineups that Vogel puts together sometimes, they just don't make any sense. Because in a game like this, I don't want to even play Morris at this point. You shouldn't have played him. Like, he didn't play all night.
And like you said, Kuz got those young legs. Like, it was nice that he played the whole first, but then he goes through these spurts where he's out when we could use some energy,
Yeah, and then also in that third quarter, Mark, hit his 3.
Yeah.
We talk about when Mark scores, and Mark tonight actually was hustling. Like, he's I feel like I said, it's the trade deadline maybe, or the buyout market. Hopefully it's not those, and hopefully it's just maybe.
Because the thing that's going to kill us is if he's doing this leading up to that, and then once he realizes, oh, okay, they didn't get nobody, then let me just go back to being who I was before. So hopefully he's just motivated in general, because I did see a quote pop up that he wanted to make life easy for us while AD's out. Yeah. So I hope he means that, and I hope he's doing it for the right reasons, because we need that. We need him to be at least a little resembling of that defensive player of the year. I mean, he's not going to get that,
He's got size. He just gotta use it, But in that quarter, once again, I mean, what screwed us was the threes. Yep. You had Harden hit a 3, you had Harris hit a 3, you had Sham hit a 3, you had Lawahu hit 2 threes. Like,
yeah, we did have like a 13-2 run, and then it was Cabarro who made that 3 that pretty much ended that, and then they just started taking over at that point. It's hard. It's hard when our identity is not a 3-point team, and then you just want to, like, all of a sudden Vogel's like, that's the game plan. We're gonna keep up with their threes. Like,
it doesn't make sense, because I mean, we've talked about Vogel a lot this year. I feel like Vogel, I don't know what it is, dude. Like, I feel like we had a very obvious size advantage, and we didn't play any post-up game tonight at all.
Yeah, we didn't even attack as much because they had 10 more free throws than us, and it was kind of frustrating when we're trying to come back. But a lot of that's because they were actually attacking the paint. Like Kyrie was attacking the paint. Harden, he does his thing attacking the paint. But like LeBron had his time too, but nobody else besides probably LeBron and Kuzma a few times was actually making it a point to try to get inside.
Yeah, so I mean, and we have guys that get attacked. Like I said, KCP, run him off some screens. He could attack. You know?
Him and Wesley, who we talk about, who get a little stagnant and just shoot threes. They actually had 2 layups that look. I saw Wesley do one, and then KCP. I think they're back to back. I was okay if they're gonna do that, then that's good. But we ended up trailing 90-74 going into the fourth. And honestly, the fourth was just more of the same. It got to a point where
it was done already in the fourth. I felt like we were down by what, like 20, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, they got it up to 20 a few times, and we kind of just make these little runs, but they didn't really mean much. Eventually, LeBron gets pulled out, and we just pretty much see we saw Jared Dudley come in.
Jared Dudley. That was the best part of this game, honestly.
I mean, it's funny because like we were frustrated because it was a loss, and we don't want to lose, especially against one of these contenders.
Yeah.
But seeing Jared Dudley was a sight to see.
They ended it right, but he didn't score. Cook was selfish.
Quinn Cook, man, he had this drive, and we both saw his eyes were looking in the corner. And he's just like, nah, I'm just going to go ahead and...
He said no.
Like, he thought he was going to lay it up over 2 people or something, but...
Pretty much, man. But like we said, this game... I feel like, though, with this game, though, it's just one of those nights where they got hot. It's a regular season game. I wouldn't read too much into it. We didn't have AD and Schroeder. And they didn't have KD. So both teams are not at full strength. Both teams were kind of, in a scramble mode when it comes to lineups. Because I don't even think Kyrie played the last game either for them.
Yeah,
so,
they've been having like games where he doesn't play KD. They're a little more used to adapting to that, but they also have 2 stars in at the same time. Like once we don't have one of ours, we just have LeBron in or AD in by himself. But I mean, Kuz, we're happy to see him get his minutes. That was good to see. And THT, I mean, we didn't really talk about it. He wasn't as effective with his minutes, but I'd still have him in there over Wesley. Like at this point, just because he's aggressive, he's a little reckless sometimes, but. I mean, he's only going to get better by having the minutes, Like he's not going to learn from those mistakes by not making them first.
Yeah, and he could be a defensive star. Like there's times because he's so lanky. He's got like really, really long arms and like really big hands. I feel like he could easily become a really good guard defender,
Yeah, I was going to say, and for the guys that he does defend, he definitely has the advantage body-wise. Like you said, the length of his arms, his hands, so... Yeah, I still want to see him get minutes, even though this wasn't the best game for him. He's still, I feel like, more effective than Wesley. But another thing with this game, though, they did out-rebound, or not out-rebound us, but they kept up with our rebounds with us having the size advantage. So I was going to say, like, teams come out, like, this means more for them to get the win than for us. They're trying to prove that they can beat the defending champs. And no matter what, as long as we have LeBron in there and AD might be out, they're still going to be motivated to beat the champs,
Yeah, I feel like with the thing, though, with us is, like, we said it maybe a few videos ago, but the Lakers they got so much to improve in. We're not in championship form, and I feel like a lot of people say that LeBron has his playoff switch, which he does, and AD kind of has it, but the rest of the team doesn't. These other guys can't play lazy and
then just snap into it
and just be like, oh, in the playoffs we're gonna snap into it and we're gonna be great.
Yeah,
all the other guys need to be great and do what they're supposed to do because the laziness and because rebounds, it's all hustle,
Yeah,
and
that's pretty much what I was getting at. Is like, they basically were woken up for this game, ready to go. You want to see that from our guys that aren't named LeBron, that aren't named AD or even Kuz. Kuz, his identity is already rebounding.
Kuz, he does his thing.
Yeah. So we just want to see more people step up. It was a tough loss, like Joe said. We're not going to read too much into it because last year the Rockets gave us our last double-digit loss. That was when they had Harden, and we saw what happened in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So usually the formula that D'Antoni runs, that he might be giving Nash right now, is this offensive-minded thing. But unless they get someone like Drummond, I'm not too scared of them. I feel like with us at full strength, Schroeder, AD back, it'll be a different game.
D'Antoni's system has never worked, so there's no reason why it should work now. I mean, yes, he does have 3 of the biggest stars he's ever had, but still, ISO ball never wins championships ever.
And I'll say this: even if the Nets do win, D'Antoni's not the head coach, like he said to me earlier.
Still didn't win.
So even if
Steve Nash's system won,
at the end of the day, Steve Nash stepped in his first year. If they do it, it's not D'Antoni. So.
He's basically Steve Kerr now.
So I mean, yeah, we do end up losing 109-98. Like we said, a tough one. but we're just gonna move on from it and hopefully, get a dub in the next one. Don't remember who we play.
We play the Heat.
The Heat. There we go.
Saturday.
Yeah, they actually showed that on the thing. So yeah, it's a finals rematch. But the Heat, they've been struggling this year. So we're gonna see what happens in that one. I'm sure we'll come out with more energy. We usually respond well to losing.
Yeah.
But if you're new here, like we said earlier in the beginning, remember to subscribe because we like seeing those numbers go up.
We do.
We love responding to the comments. And if you start commenting now, before we get even bigger, I mean, we personally reply to those like every single comment,
We do.
So be a part of the first wave.
I'd be at work in the bathroom just looking for comments. I'm like, oh, someone commented.
He'll be in the bathroom calling me like, bro, 4 more subscribers. He gets excited. We both do. So
we do.
We would appreciate that. But leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Be safe, Lake Nation.